What's up, you man-made moist muffin divers? Welcome to Grunt Speak.
Live from the lair.
I'm Gleep Glep, and that's Floop-de-doo. How's everybody doing? I hope we got your attention.
All right. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, and that would be revenge. My favorite revenge movie, Conan. And then after that would be probably Death Wish 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah. Death Wish 1 and 2, both good.
And then I believe Fistful of Dollars comes close to.
Yeah. Some
Dirty Harry. I just love revenge.
There's so many good revenge movies. It's kind of hard to narrow them all down.
Well, the thing is people don't seem to understand. If you fuck with somebody and you fail to destroy them and they get away, and they develop that urge to get a little payback, you better watch the fuck out, because that dude will be superhuman, supercharged to set up on your ass and send you into the promised land.
Yes, he will.
In any way, shape, or form.
So we want to hear your revenge stories, dudes. If they're too long to read on the stream tonight, we will do standalone videos.
Yes.
You know how it goes.
And another thing we're trying to do is give you guys a voice, because there's so many guys out there with all kinds of divorce stories and all kinds of horrible stuff, and nobody gets to speak their piece.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is.
Especially if you're a dude and you've been wronged by a woman.
Oh, my God.
You try to take that story public. Well, what did you do?
Yeah.
Women believe that it's your fault even when they cheat. So.
And I want to put an apology out there to the supporters on Sunday. I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, well, I still have no idea because I wasn't here. I couldn't diagnose it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was only two options. Either a split stream, which we use to split our signal to all the websites completely crapped out, or it was the internet itself in the house completely crapped out. One of the other.
I don't know, man. I just hope it doesn't happen again, because that's really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will be off. I will not be here on Thursday, and I will be out of town on Sunday.
Yep, we will be off to the races.
Mm-hmm. I'm going I believe I'm going to go hang out at Marty's.
Yeah, Senior Airman Fitzwell down in Florida.
Yeah, I want to hang out with them. I'm going to try to get on Fresh and Fit, too.
Okay. Spartan Warrior, if there's an echo, reload your shit, because you're the only one hearing it. Got it? Good.
All right.
There's nothing I can do about it because we only have one audio feed going out, so there's not going to be an echo coming from us. Everything gets processed through here.
And also, we're working on a shoestring budget. We don't have a big studio budget for our own dedicated D1 line. And
now, ordinarily, with a scenario like this, you would have a tech director who's responsible for all the stuff that I am doing here. You would have an actual director who's telling the tech director what to do.
And
you'd have an
AD.
Yeah, you would have an AD that's, rocking additional consoles and preparing things for the tech director.
Yep.
You have us. That's it. I'm doing the job of those 3 to 4 other people while I'm co-hosting.
Correct.
There's not much I can do.
Dude, you're a stud, man. You're a stud.
Thank you. We should get a stud finder, see if it goes off in my presence. What do you say? I'm going to play this for myself because I know how bad that sounded.
Ha! Gay!
There you go. I'm not above poking fun at myself. With that being said, we got some great news for you tonight. 516, change the board.
Boom!
And this comes from a new supporter on Locals. His name, he goes by Sly Mason. I'm a new supporter that has tickled the end of my 40 cal Koenig with my temple a couple times. You have helped in elevating the want to release myself from the mess of this world. I hate it. You've made it easier.
All right.
Winning.
And all I'm doing is telling the truth, and I'm making fun of horrible fucking shit that happens to us. That's it.
Yeah, because if you can't laugh at the horrible things that happen to you, you will go nuts and you will think about starting a shotgun.
Yes, you will.
Especially the way things are going now. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But with that being said, tonight's about revenge. And I love when people get a healthy dose of karma with interest.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah.
Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah!
How's it going? According to, I believe it was a publication. What was it called? Beer Business Daily. We have never seen this kind of collapse. It has never occurred in history. Bud Light sales have officially collapsed by 26%.
And that's nationwide. That's an average. So in some parts of the country, it's literally a standstill.
Yep. Latest numbers are in, down 26.1% from a year earlier in the week, ending in April 22nd. That's not just a drop in sales. That is a split down the middle and come crashing to earth.
And here's another thing that pissed me off. Is they tried yet again another commercial, and they got Zach Brown, in the...
Oh, yeah, he's like Mr. Patriotism, allegedly.
I'm going to be honest, Zach Brown, if you see this, that's in my opinion, that was an idiot move. Because if you can't see the fact that the conservatives in the middle are moving to the right, you're going to get left in the dust.
And a lot of people who consider themselves liberal-minded but who are independent in the middle are also moving to the right.
Yes, that's
because
what I'm saying.
the left has gone so completely
They're out of their
off
goddamn
the
mind.
rails.
Oh, and Mr. Zach Brown, make some new music, please.
Yeah, and can you please not make another song ever like Keep Me in Mind? That is the Blue Pill Simp Mangina anthem.
That's right.
Never, ever. Shame on you for releasing that piece of shit.
Well, my thing is this.
That's up there with Future Husband by Meghan Trainor, that fat piece of crap. Well, she's not as fat as Lizzo. In fact, she looks positively anorexic by comparison.
But, okay, when you look at Mr. Zach Brown, he's very musically talented, but he is a stumpy, overweight individual.
It happens.
And
country music can get away with that.
You can. He's probably been the blue pill simp his entire life, riding to the rescue on his white horse in shiny armor, and in short order, that's all going to be ground up and injected right up your ass. So,
alcohol-related incident available on request.
Hey, when that happens, so come bitching to me, man. I warned you.
Just like Anheuser-Busch can't come bitching to us because now it is official. Bud Light, they can't sell it, so it has officially become cheaper than water.
Yep.
A price of a 36-pack at Costco is going for $14.97. That is 41 cents a can.
Well, you got to put the 10 cent deposit in.
Only if you're in Michigan. Most of the country, it's 5 cents. And
Okay.
A lot of states don't even have that.
Okay.
So in Michigan, it would be another 10 cents per, but that's not technically built into the price.
No.
That's an incentive to recycle. So 41 cents per. 20 years ago, in 2003, the average six-pack in the U.S. sold for $6.97, which is about $1.13 per unit. That does not adjust for inflation.
Wow.
So you're talking about this being less than half of what a unit would be worth 20 years ago without Biden inflation.
I can't wait till it gets so cheap. It's you buy it just to pour it out and get the deposits here in Michigan.
Yeah. So if you adjust for inflation, it should be $1.47 per beer. So it's a third, less than a third of what it should be worth.
And listen, in my opinion, all of the Anheuser-Busch products are worth nothing.
No.
Do not buy any more of their shit. Make sure you get online and look at all of the products that Anheuser-Busch is peddling here in the United States, because they're not an American company anymore.
No, they're European.
That's right. So all of that insanity that you see happening in Europe because they're fucking retarded, well, we got foreign companies trying to peddle former American companies to us using some questionable bullshit.
Yep. And it's not working,
No,
obviously.
I want to see them go under. And I would like, listen.
That would send us such a clear message.
But the thing is we have to start doing this to every single woke company there is. Just cut them off.
Cliff3188 just hit it out of the park with a super chat. I'd like to thank Dylan Mulvaney for causing more people to change their drinking habits than Alcoholics Anonymous.
Wow! Oh, yeah! Woo!
Another red letter day for ga, ah, and nah.
No, he's got to get the
This one is for you, Cliff.
Thug Life. taking out with a thug life for that, baby. That was 100% on target.
That is outstanding. And from what I know Yangling has kind of come out and thrown their hat in the ring opposing this shit. And I hear that they may be on the cusp of getting a Michigan distribution deal.
Well, let's hope so.
And I don't know if you've had Yangling. I mean, the standard lager. The standard lager is pretty good, but they make a black and tan mixed in the bottle that's fucking outstanding. It's really good.
It's
because you don't drink real beer. You drink stuff like Bud Light.
I used to drink
Michelob Light, Miller Light, Man-Made Clitoris Light. Wee!
Man-made clitoris light.
Put that in your man-made blowhole and smoke it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. All I could say is I don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
They weren't thinking.
And then when they showed that VP of marketing making those things about, being too fratty.
And yet she was the one, sucking off the frat guys in the bathrooms in college, taking pictures. They're all over her social media. Somebody's psychologically projecting what they, back in the days when she was desirable and could get the men that she desired, when they used to leave her on the bathroom floor after 7 to 10 minutes of fun, hopefully not 18 years on the run. She wanted to extrapolate that out and punish all the men who left her on the bathroom floor with a puddle between her legs.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know what is in store for her in her future.
I don't know.
But I have a feeling every company she's going to apply to is going to treat her like a pariah because she single-handedly destroyed an entire beer company.
Yeah, both her and some other marketing exec.
The two guys got fired.
Both fired for this. Yeah.
But now they're really fucked because
it didn't matter.
The trans community is come out and said, you better support the trans community. So now they got to make a decision. Do I support the cupcake side assholes with a big mouth who don't pay my bills and can't afford to buy enough of my product to keep the doors open? Or do I cater to the people that I should have been catering to the whole time because the customer is always right?
Correct.
If the customer says, no, I do not want to have any loose gay butt twerking queers selling me beer, you better fucking listen to them next time.
The acceptance of the alphabet mafia is at an all-time low and dropping.
Yeah.
Because of this...
Because they're coming for your kids.
The rapey entitlement that comes from this movement is they have gone so far beyond the pale. Anybody with a brainstem isn't listening to them anymore. Shit, they're not even listening to gays in their own community when they say, stop. Oh, no, we're going to make you pariahs too. At Gays Against Groomers, if you haven't started following them on your social media, I recommend it.
Yeah, and listen, I don't have any kind of fear of trans people. I have no fear of gays.
No.
I don't. I have dislike when they push it on me and they try to groom people. All right. Listen, if you're a trans person, obviously, you're an 8-cylinder firing on 7, maybe 6 cylinders. Okay. Yep. And then this really makes me upset is because your feelings might get hurt if I don't use the proper pronouns. I have to relearn the English language. I have to walk on eggshells around these people. All I have to say is fuck no. Until you can get along in the real world and control the control panel of your own emotions, stay home.
Yeah, exactly.
We should not have to suffer your insanity in public.
And you know what's even funnier is that they claim that religion is evil because it wants to control how people think, act, and talk.
Okay. Now, first of all, I would love to see the trans people get the help that they need that can actually help them.
Yeah, me too.
This whole illusion of mutilating a body to make it match the picture in your head, it's not working.
No.
In fact, they stopped doing it in Europe because they realized it's a bunch of bullshit.
And now the study that allegedly led to all of this BS, the Dutch protocol, it's been completely debunked. They deliberately tossed out any negative results, including a death that happened at the hands of one of their butchers. They deliberately tossed all of that out. Why? Because the study was paid for by the people who make the puberty blockers.
Correct.
I mean, conflict of interest? Anyone?
Listen, all right. Now let's do a comparison. So there are several states out there that are now trying to get laws on the books that your child can go to school and they will secretly transition your child and not tell you.
California is
Can
really
you
leading the
imagine
pack.
this? Say you send your kids to school and one day you find out that secretly all the kids in the class were baptized and they didn't tell you. Would you be fucking pissed? I think a lot of people would. I mean, I personally wouldn't, but I'd be like, I silly splash water, any big deal. But I'm just saying, there are people out there who are really serious about keep your fucking religion out of school.
Well, think about it. These are the people who are pushing this, butchery, which is exactly what it is, would get angry about dribbling water on somebody's forehead. But a 4-year-old getting their shit lopped off and turned inside out, totally fine.
Yeah. Oh, you like playing with Barbies? Okay. Well, we're taking the doctor to cut your penis off and give you hormones to make you a woman. What you played with the Barbies? Obviously, that's what you want. Get the hell out of here. That's Munchausen
and it
by
doesn't
proxy.
make sense either when you listen to the other shit that they say, which is, well, gender norms are outdated. We need to just dispense with them entirely. They're outdated. No one needs to be listening to these anymore. But the second a boy picks up a Barbie instead of a G.I. Joe, suddenly gender norms are the entire litmus test by which we need to judge this child's entire future.
Correct.
Give me a break.
Listen, man, when I was, 8, 9, 10 years old, the only thing I cared about is where I was going to get my next Coca-Cola. Was I going to be able to find enough returnables to buy a box of Little Debbie cakes, my first girlfriend?
That bitch in a box.
Shooting squirrels and rabbits with my BB gun in the backyard and then blowing shit up.
Woo!
That was it.
That's good shit.
That was it. I mean, it was very common for my mother to come home from work and find 1- and 2-foot craters in the backyard for me blowing shit up.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. We got more revenge.
Oh.
More revenge. It doesn't just stop here. This one was actually a missed super chat from Thought Thursday.
Okay.
But it works out just as well for tonight because Meta has canceled Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table Talk amid the Facebook Watch shutdown.
Good. Well, first of all,
Cheating bitch.
Now, what happened at Twitter, Elon Musk got rid of 80% of the people who worked there.
Yep.
He literally turned the company, semi-profitable, if not profitable, in under 90 days. And I'm telling you right now, Facebook and Meta are probably packed with a bunch of useless people who bring no value to the team.
Yep.
And quite frankly, because all of this venture cap money is disappearing, they're going to have to get rid of these boat anchors.
Correct. So thank you very much to Big Bad Wolf for sending us that one. I wanted to make sure that I read it because I didn't want to forget it again. He sent it in as an early super chat on Thursday. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so when I went looking through the cash apps, I didn't see it.
We're sorry, brother.
It's all good, man. And, Vice, we're going to miss you. Vice is going under. So what is this, a week, 2 weeks after BuzzFeed News got absorbed by HuffPo? And like half of their people are getting shit canned. Now Vice is heading for bankruptcy for, well, it's valued at $5.7 million, and now it's
no. Its highest value was a couple of billion.
Yeah. Well, it says right here, value once $5.7 billion, but has been struggling to find a buyer now.
So it's worth. If they can't find a buyer, then it's worth nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, because your value is determined by what someone will pay for it.
Yep.
And they've literally been printing just drivel and bullshit.
Oh, I love this tweet from Clandestine. With the announcement of Vice News going bankrupt, I'd like to take this time to dance on their grave for writing an egregious hit piece against me and stalking me for writing the Biolab story. I told you scumbags I was going to get the last laugh. Enjoy your dirt nap.
Yeah, that's a thug life. That's definitely a thug life.
Very much so.
100%.
Oh, and he even follows it up here. It says, at Vice, took the liberty of calling all my old employers and told the world my humble work history based on my LinkedIn account, taking their doxing campaign to the next level.
You should have sued the shit out of
the
them.
Vice. I'm so glad they're going to be going under. Screw them. And then, of course, on the other side of things, on one of the only free speech platforms we have now, Twitter, 2 Gen Z shills got outed because they were paid to promote old man Biden.
Okay.
And they're insisting that they were never paid.
Yeah. Show that video.
Unfortunately, we have receipts.
Yeah, play that video.
This, Henry Sisson is his name. Gen Z won't sit back and watch as the Republican Party tries to destroy our country. Yes, because we're responsible for the skyrocketing inflation, 1.9 million illegal immigrants. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Save it.
What the Republican Party doesn't understand about Gen Z is we don't like you. You claim you want to appeal to Gen Z, but you call us stupid, you say we're dumb, you say we're indoctrinated. I promise it's a losing...
No, that's not what we're saying. That's a diagnosis.
That's right.
Okay? And when you stand in front of your stupid vertical video and say shit like this, you're proving the point. Kind of like when the crazy Hispanic bitch said, "How dare you say all Mexicans are crazy?"
Yeah.
I'm clearly in the wrong here.
These kids are, what, 15, 16 years old?
18, 19,
18,
maybe.
19, maybe?
strategy. And Gen Z is watching the Republican Party extremely closely as they destroy our environment, take rights away from women, do nothing about kids being shot in school.
Oh, really? The Republicans
All right.
are the ones taking rights away from women. Aren't you the ones pushing for men and women's sports?
Hang on.
That's the complete erasure of women.
Well, the thing is that they do nothing as kids are killed in schools. Though those shooters came from single mother homes.
Those singles were those shooters were Democrats. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying most of the mass shooters came from a single mother home. We didn't have these mass shooting problems in the 40s, 50s, 60s. They started like in the middle to late 70s, just as no-fault divorce took over across the entire goddamn country.
Yep. And these kids, I mean, they're dumb, they're stupid, they've been completely brainwashed by public education, and now they've been paid to be shills for the worst administration in American history, and they just wanted a check. I got it, good hustle. However, with that being said, you might want to cover your tracks a little bit better.
We all know this kid, right? And how about this one? Well, as many of us have suspected for a long time, looks like those two are partisan hacks bought and paid for by the DNC to the tune of around $210,000. If you check their bios, both of them are managed by a company called Palette Media. And you might think, well, why is that important? Because Palette Media received direct payments by the DNC totaling $210,000. Apparently, the DNC didn't want to make direct payments. By the way, all of this is publicly available on the FEC website, so they don't want to make direct payments exposing Harry and his goons. So instead, they get a little creative with their accounting. First, they send the money to Palette, which then manages their talents like Harry. Now, none of this should surprise anyone because it's public knowledge that Biden started an army of social media influencers. But I guess they didn't want you to know who.
And you know,
shocker.
You know who's an influencer for the Constitution and the truth? And we're not getting paid shit? Us.
Yeah.
Us.
It's really pathetic to see people in an age of information where it's so readily available spewing diarrhea of the mouth that can be easily debunked with one quick search. Or, opening your eyes.
Well, that's the minute money moves around, it leaves a trail.
Oh, yeah.
And, most of the crypto they're now figuring out how to do that. But I would say one of the big problems we're having in this country is our government has been bought and paid for, and they've been paid for with crypto. It is what it is.
Exactly.
We as the taxpayers can't afford to have a government anymore.
No. Best government on the planet, we just can't afford it.
Yeah, too bad. We just can't afford it.
Well, when it all comes crashing down, all the people responsible for it will get their comeuppance. Karma always collects with interest. just in
it
case
says
you
what?
didn't know. The idiot kids. They would rather make up BS lies about myself and Chris than talk about real issues. Which, by the way, you're not talking about issues. You have talking points issued to you by the Biden administration. They're not the same thing. But after all, just today, Jean-Pierre, piece of shit diversity hire, actually had the balls, figuratively and literally, to come out and say that illegal migration under the Biden administration dropped 90%.
Well, hang on. That's bullshit. But like, I want to know if 210,000 was paid to the company that controls them.
Yep.
How much they got of that?
Oh, I'm sure they get. Well, I mean, a management agency would routinely collect 5 to 10%.
All right. Well,
So they would have gotten most of it.
if they got 180, they divide it in two.
Yep.
That could pay
But
for a
what's
lot of their
hysterical-
college, I guess.
What's hysterical is that Community Notes has already basically spit roasted his post because it says right here in late 2022, Biden's campaign team connected with young social media influencers, including Harry Sisson, to draw in voters aged 18 to 29 with not one, not two, but 3 receipts. And then additional receipts that he signed with Pallet Management.
Nice.
So your goose is cooked.
Yeah, listen, man, that is very devastating.
Now, I know you're young, you're a kid, you haven't done an honest day's work in your entire life because you think the internet is reality. Grow the fuck up. Because pretty soon, reality is going to come knocking, and if you don't answer the door, it usually comes with ammunition.
That's right.
I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just saying I'm making a metaphorical analysis of the situation here. Reality doesn't give a shit, a damn, or a fuck
About
which
your
side of the
feelings.
political spectrum you lean on. And sooner or later, when enough people have had enough of your bullshit and they've moved on to the next best thing, you're going to be forgotten, and all that money's going to dry up. And then guess what? You're going to have to work for a living.
Yeah.
Sorry, not
Yeah.
sorry.
Now, I mean, they're young and stupid.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? I mean, that's just the way it rolls sometimes.
They're still, I guess micro penis thinking because, soy.
Well-
You could tell by how they smile.
Well, they can make up all the excuses they want, but in reality, an excuse has a range of 0 meters or the length of your penis.
Yeah, when you're dick thinking, it's the length of your penis.
That's right. I thought it would be okay.
I thought it would be fine.
She told me she's on the pill.
Now I gotta run like a Jew from the tax man.
I'm shocked. Oh yeah, we were called anti-Semites for that joke.
Of course we were, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, we're comedians. We make jokes about everything.
Stereotypes exist for a reason.
Politically
Okay.
correct jokes are not funny.
No.
They're not.
But with that being said, we do have a toast that we have to raise here. So
yeah.
I'm gonna pour myself some whiskey
And this
before we
goes
get
out
into
to
more.
Suzanne
Suzanne.
McCarley.
Yeah, we have some more detailed revenge stories.
I've known this woman since roughly 2014.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And,
I didn't realize that she was an old friend.
Well, she's yeah. I mean, she's a men's rights activist,
Oh, cool.
and we've crossed paths quite a few times. Very level-headed, and her father was in his mid to late 90s when it was over for him.
Yep.
And that is a great run. He was a World War II vet.
Yeah, I was going to read this right here.
Yeah,
If you
okay,
want
I'm
to
sorry.
Get some details here. She says, "Hi, Terrence. I can't figure out how to fund a super chat on the Rumble stream. The last time I tried, it wouldn't take my credit card, and the site doesn't have an option for an on-file card. I'm off work on live stream nights now, and I sometimes like to holler in the chat. Also, I'd like to make an extra donation super chat in honor of my veteran dad. We lost him yesterday, 2.5 weeks after his 96th birthday.
Damn, that is a champion run.
He was in World War II, having graduated high school early so he could enlist in the Navy at 17 in the year 1944.
Yep.
He will be interred with honors at Fort Stanton, New Mexico, near his childhood home on the Mescalero Apache Reservation. No, we're not Apache. His mom was a government clerk there.
All right.
Sorry for rambling on, and yes, we're all okay. Though this past week was hard on my brother and his wife, who have been caring for him and his business since he had his stroke in February. He initially recovered remarkably well, but by the end of March, he began to decline and had another stroke last Tuesday.
And that was it.
Yep, none of this was unexpected, and his pain was well managed, so he wasn't suffering. He lived independently near my brother until February of this year. Living independently until 96.
That's fucking. He's a champion.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a hell of a life, making the most of a rough start. My only regret is that my son is still not in our lives. I know they loved each other. Thank you very much. You've really been knocking it out of the park lately. Well, we're going to knock this one down the hatch for the good old veteran dad. 96, wow.
And Susan, don't worry about the donation, man. It was my honor to do this for you. Don't worry about it.
You know, people burn in all the time.
Yeah,
but
listen, some people get mad at me because I talk about it with like zero emotion.
It's part of life.
I mean, my job was to manage funerals and throw dudes in the dirt. It's very depressing.
Indeed.
So I'd call my guys. I'm like, all right, we got 2 dirt darts on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. I'll email you the locations, and I'll see you then. I mean, you got to take the emotion out of it, or it really becomes just so hard.
Exactly. We got some super chats here we can read before we dive into some more detailed revenge, including a letter that was copy-pasted to us that was supposed to be for somebody's brother, and that's comedy gold. We're going to get to that in a minute.
Listen, I love revenge, man.
We got Lord Messiah Disciple. Please check the email I sent you at 17:35 Eastern Time. All right, let's check it out. Oh, yeah, the Red Pill movie, dude. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've been reading about this. I'm definitely interested. Link to a potential soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's writing a movie trilogy.
Ooh.
Some RP content there.
Well, write me in.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, I'll read this. I'm not sure how much of this you want to share publicly, so I wanted to check that out.
Just leave it.
Really good stuff. I'm going to make sure that this gets forwarded to me as well. So you already did. All right, so I can give that a read later in more detail. I'll write to you and talk to you personally, good sir.
Excellent.
Amazing Mr. Fox. Revenge is a dish best served in Golden Corral buffet amounts.
And cold and stale.
Yes. Hot Dog 401 from Canada. Revenge story. It's been 10 years. I'll let you know. Tip. Step 1. Wait patiently. Yes, most revenge is not movie revenge.
Mm-mm.
It's a long, boring process a lot of the time.
Yes, it is.
And Hot Dog 401 says, this is a top up to the 22 Canadian dollars, so my commie Canadian Monopoly money tops out to an even 20 cents.
Excellent.
Gotta love the Canadian money. Canuckistan. Cliff3188, thank you for that gorgeous thug life from earlier. B. Ryan Rangers, $2, no comment, thank you very much. Ohio Trucker 1, Redonkulas 12, topic advice. Topic advice.
Don't see it.
I'm not seeing it, man. Did you send it to me or to the Popster? Because I'm not seeing it.
We're not seeing it.
One.
Resend it, please.
Yeah, please resend. I will keep an eye out for you. And make sure you put Ohio Trucker 1 in the subject line so I know who I'm looking for. And CT2608, graduate from Lackland and currently in Shepherd for tech school.
Ooh.
Your tough talk for Gen Z helped me run 3 miles today. Thanks. Sweet.
You like that? You guys like that when I did that?
That was a good episode, man. It was really good.
Listen, people don't seem to understand. I literally think of the episode. I write it on the board. I almost never rehearse. And I just get up and I talk in front of the camera. There's a couple times where I go through and then I'd fuck it up. And then do it again. It would be even better. But, I mean, when I'm speaking to you guys, this is how I am.
True story. Yeah, we don't have time for pretending around here.
No,
Matt D. Minneapolis hired influencers for a lot of money for minorities to explain the Chauvin St. George trial. It backfired.
Yep.
Well, when he dies of a drug overdose and it's as plain as the nose on your face, yeah.
Well, we're in the middle of a culture war.
Oh, big time.
You and I are on the front lines.
Yeah.
And right now, because of the momentum, we're on the losing side for now.
For now. Well, that's what they want you to think anyway.
Yeah.
That's why they removed the dislike function on YouTube, or at least the dislike counter. That's why they censor your speech. People who do those things are not on the winning side. Let's just be honest.
No, and people that do that never do good things down the road.
No. Yeah, because every single society that employs censorship to further its agenda has totally survived to tell the tale.
Correct. 100%.
Evil Zombie Till, $49.99. Thank you so much.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Title
you very much.
42 ends next week, he says. Whoever's controlling Biden has decided to send 1,500 troops to the border. That's less than 1 per mile of border. Texas's mission is to keep illegals out. The feds is to bring them in. It was not a good faith move. Oh, I know.
Nope.
They've probably been sent there to interfere. You know how it goes. All right.
Hang on, but Texas can do this. It's their fucking state.
Yeah.
They trump the federal government, anything that happens inside of Texas. Now, if these troops come down there and they're getting in the way, they are well within their rights to box them up and tell them we don't need you, hang out here until your orders run out, or go back, and we'll do it ourselves. And they should keep busing these immigrants to Washington, D.C., and all of these blue hellhole cities and states. What are you looking for?
I am looking for the Ohio Trucker One email. I'm telling you, dude, I'm not blind. It's not here.
Well, all right. Do a search for his name and see if it shows up in there. Maybe it went to junk.
I'll check the spam just to be sure. You never can tell.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It's in
We got you now. Yeah.
spam, so make sure it's not spam this time.
All right.
I'm going to pickle it. I don't know what to do. There's a custody battle for Lucas, and both have been deemed unsuitable parents.
Ooh.
Proceedings, my sister apparently asked the court if I could be given custody. They would have visitation. Here's the problem. As you know, I'm an independent trucker, and I'm in the process of trying to move to Texas. So I'm both rarely home and cleaning my property to sell. I do not trust either of them in my house, especially the father, whose mother insists that I do whatever she wants, sell all my classic cars, guns, etc. That's Texas size 10 on that.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Narcissistic behavior. Both have sticky fingers. His mother's very controlling and demands everything needs to be up to her standards, regardless of how it impacts everyone else. If this goes through, I'd have to stay within an hour's driving distance from Franklin County for 17 years, sell my semi-truck, and change careers so I can be home enough to look after him as he's only 3 years old.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a big problem. I care for my nephew, and I want what's best for him, and see him to be able to thrive and survive without falling for the mistakes I and many others have fallen into. Once I make heads or tails of this situation, so can you riggers in the chat help me out? What do you guys think?
All right. This is first of all, the mother of the child is a narcissistic, controlling asshole.
Damn it. I was reading with my damn mic off the whole time. I'm sorry about that.
All right. Sorry.
For some reason, it flicked off. He says here, I'm in a pickle and I don't know what to do. There's a custody battle for Lucas, boomer moment, and both have been deemed unsuitable parents. During the proceedings, my sister apparently asked the court if I could be given custody, they would have visitation. Here's the problem. As you know, I'm an independent trucker, and I'm in the process of trying to move to Texas, so I'm both rarely home and cleaning my property to sell. I don't trust either of them in my house, especially the father, whose mother insists that I do whatever she wants, like sell all my classic cars, guns, etc.
Fuck no.
No. Texas size 10-4. Both have sticky fingers. His mother's very controlling and demands everything be up to her standards, regardless of how it impacts everyone else. If this goes through, I'd have to stay within an hour's driving distance from Franklin County for 17 years, sell my semi-truck, and change careers so I can be home enough to look after him because he's only 3. I care for my nephew, and I want what's best for him, and see him be able to thrive and survive without falling for the mistakes I and many others have made. For once, I can't make heads or tails of this situation, so can you riggers and the chat help me out? What do you guys think?
Number one, the mother of the child is a controlling, narcissistic bitch.
Yep.
And how dare she suggest to you that you have to sell your own motherfucking property and set everything up so it's good for her? No. All right. They've already been found, basically they're so shitty they can't be parents.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if you want to step in and take this over, that's on you 100%. If you don't think you can change careers and make enough money to, continue on as you are, you might not have that option of changing careers. You might have to figure something out, or
Especially now.
yeah,
Job market is just all over the map.
yep.
Thank you for everybody for letting me know my mic cut out. I was looking down there and freaking light was off. I'm like, what? Kill
It happens, Murphy.
Oh, man.
But
yeah,
hey,
that's a really shitty situation that you've been put in the middle of. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to think of the kid, but at the same time, you're talking about you could potentially wind up in a scenario where you can't care for the kid if you switch careers like that. So
Correct.
it's
Correct. And listen,
nuts.
It's very narcissistic for somebody to basically try to move onto your property and say, you have to sell this and you have to do that. And it has to be my way.
Yep.
And then you just give the knife hand back and go fuck yourself.
Damn right. Just like these nuclear revenge stories. I love these. We're going to read you a few of these tonight here.
I love these.
All right. My family deleted a rapist. This is my grandfather's story. It would have occurred sometime in the early 1960s. My grandpa comes from a very remote part of my country. Even in the 60s, they lived in a log cabin without phone or electricity. He lived with his 3 brothers, sister, father, and his mother. It was a violent household. My great-grandfather was an alcoholic. My grandpa, his siblings, and his mother were accustomed to beatings. The culture of the time was to accept this as a harsh reality of the remote and difficult lives that were led so far from civilization. My great-aunt was the youngest of the siblings, and as my grandpa and his brothers grew into young men and began working, she was left at home and began to take on the role of housekeeper, as my great-grandmother was often ill. She would often use her bad health as an excuse for not stopping what happened next. My great-grandfather began rapaying
my God!
my great-aunt at some point, most likely before she had even begun puberty.
Yeah, listen, if you do that, in my opinion, you deserve the death penalty.
Ooh. It continued for years.
Oh, no.
All the brothers moved out, and she was left completely alone. My grandpa says he truly did not know. He worried for his sister receiving the brunt of the beatings, but he did not know about the rapé.
Oh, my God.
I hope that's true. When my great-aunt was 13, she
go.
became preggers with her father's
Oh,
son.
my God.
The night my grandpa found out, him and his brothers snowmobiled from out of town. Since none of them owned a gun, they had to use shovels to beat their own father to death.
Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. If I had a son and I found out he was like a massive serial killer or some douchebag, he would disappear. Because, one, he's obviously, you're not going to redeem this guy.
No.
And then if you turn him in, then everyone hates you because you narked on your brother. Mm-hmm. So you just whack him.
Jimmy Bone says, wood chipper go.
Is it the perfect answer? No. But is the answer good enough? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, wood chippers are the perfect all-gender bathroom.
Well, I mean, before we had the prison industrial complex, it was usually the, population of where you live that controlled a lot of the bad behavior.
Yeah. I mean, this is just when you think about it, it's just a really, really, really late-term abortion, which leftoids are all for. So. Mm-hmm. The ground was frozen solid, so they burnt him.
Oh, okay.
Which also helped to destroy the evidence, I suppose. Although I'm not sure anyone ever questioned how my great-grandfather had died. These were very different times, especially in the sticks.
All you had to say is died in his sleep and we burned his body.
Yep. My great-aunt's son, born of incest, is afflicted with genetic issues. He can barely see and has only one functioning kidney.
Oh, my God.
But he is happy. He has healthy kids in their 20s now. My great-aunt drank herself to death in the 80s, as did my great-grandmother, so I never met them. My grandpa told me all this when he was drunk, and he also has become an alcoholic, so has my dad. Generational trauma of my family is thankfully now broken with me and my siblings, but this revenge murder, this disgusting hurt, was really just another sad piece of a puzzle of abuse that started a long time ago.
I'm just curious, where do they live? I mean, is it Alaska or
I don't know.
Or is it somewhere? Oh, they said they don't have guns, so it has to be somewhere in Europe.
Well, it was
where it's
also
cold.
a long time ago too.
Yeah.
So
Now
that's messed up.
Listen, that sucks. I'm sorry that happened. But I really have no compassion for pedophiles.
No.
I just don't.
Especially incestual pedophiles.
Oh, my God.
That's a special kind of evil.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would have probably figured something out, like, kicked his ass, took him down to a large body of water since it was frozen,
Hey,
chop a hole.
Hey, great-grandpa, you want some gender-affirming care? Take care of that for you.
No. I mean, you just throw him in the water. Hypothermia is going to take him.
Yeah.
And then you're like...
I mean, especially if he's abused his body with alcohol for
Yeah.
years, his cardio is not going to be great.
Well,
Not that I would know about that or anything.
yeah, and and then you could just chalk the whole thing up to victim of circumstance.
There you go. Speaking of victims of circumstance, this one comes to us from a fan of the show. It's a Guerrilla Mail account, so this is completely anonymous.
All right.
A little preface here just for us. Greetings, Popp. Long-term lurker of your channel for a couple of years now. Hopefully this will give you interesting content. I hope you enjoy reading this, and I'm looking forward to this video and your take on this situation. Backstory. This happened in 2014. Girl had some way hey hey with her cousin. People were surprisingly accepting of that fact.
No.
This is what I hope will be a comedic take on her situation, and this is a copy-paste letter to her brother. Good afternoon, Jervy. I met Lena at a Cambodian Student Association meeting when I transferred to Fullerton. Following summer, they broke up. I heard about your cousin, Charlie, and I was speechless to hear that he and Lena did the way hey hey. Now, you may have some questions, as you should. I can understand that she didn't take her breakup at the time well. Normal people go out to the bar for a one-night stand. I guess Lena just went over to the family album. Since the parties involved in this event are family, it should be easier to do your own investigations. If Charlie happens to be a Tinder date or a one-night stand your parents happen to know, you can disregard the rest of this. I know I'm being tough on Lena. Lena was very nice to me in college, and I do not wish any harm on her. However, there were a few brave CSA members who chose to speak up about it. For some reason, they were the ones who were shamed. They were chased out of CSA. I was not one of those brave few. However, I wonder if I would have gotten the same response and treatment if I had had sex with my own cousin.
Probably not.
Probably not. It's only fair, right? This must be what she meant when she told people to be more open-minded. Well, hey, if it doesn't work out with Bri, maybe Alyssa could be another option. I will give some benefit of the doubt. Perhaps this is part of some subculture of Cambodia. I know that this sort of thing is frowned on in most parts of the U.S., but it is normal in Alabama. Based on this, I think it's safe to draw some parallels. Despite our possible cultural differences, as long as the actions of two adults are consensual, it should be fine if she had intercourse with a branch of the family tree. I think
Negative.
California law allows it starting at the first cousin. Anybody shocked by that? Incest is only illegal in the most immediate branches. Another scenario to consider is that what happened was not consensual.
Ooh.
Well, if that was the case, I think you guys should have a meeting.
Yeah.
Anyone who knew me in the past knows that I'm a strong advocate for women coming forward, but I will also emphasize that he should be presumed innocent until proven guilty. The common trend with most of her breakup stories is that her exes were just using her for sex.
It's very common.
Well, you get what you lead with. No, it sucks to hear that, doesn't it?
You get what you lead with.
All guys want is sex. Well, it could be you. I'm just saying. If guys feel comfortable coming to you with, you want to see my dick? Or leading with an inappropriate photo, you might be putting something out there. I'm just saying.
Can I get some Lubriderm loving?
I want some Lubriderm loving. I want some Lubriderm loving in the back seat of my Lumina. I knew some guys that shoot their shot only to get rejected because they didn't have adequate physical features. Now we've come to Ben. To be frank, he's not exactly a lady slayer. One look at his LinkedIn, you can see he's making a great living as a senior software engineer. One look at Lena's master's degree of child and adolescent studies says otherwise. The only thing worse could have been underwater basket weaving. At this point, I hope you can piece the puzzle together. I know Ben was a drummer in one of your videos, which I believe took place around the time of the breakup. The fact that after having sex with her cousin, some Tinder dates, earning a master's degree, that Lena finally looked in Ben's direction will tell you a lot about the longevity of their marriage.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Ben might be senior software engineer smart, but I'm not born yesterday smart. If anyone argued that they dated before she finished school, does it really make the situation any better?
Probably not.
No. The friends developing feelings for each other is not plausible. I've seen this scenario play out many times. The geeky computer guy was looked over by girls in college. He grinds it in his early adult life, then a few years later has a great career. And in that same time, his future wife got ran through by better-looking guys and is now looking for someone to pay the bills.
Correct.
There are men you marry. There are men you have children with. Guess which man Ben is? Prove me wrong.
Yep.
I'm under the assumption Ben is not aware of Lena's relationship with his cousin-in-law. If he is, he can say he's a better man than I am. Nonetheless, I imagine future family gatherings after COVID will be a bit awkward. I'm not sure how you guys do it in your culture, but I wonder if Ben has to bow to the guy who plowed his wife before he did.
No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. York.
Woo! At the very least, I hope he gets a lawyer or some official to protect himself and his assets. He's making a lot of money, so I don't think it'll cut into any budgets. If nothing happens, all the better. With what's happened with the EIU and the world in general, we all need to laugh once in a while. Often I look back on my life with much regret and think to myself, well, at least my wife didn't have sex with her cousin. Anyway, thought you should know.
Brutal.
Damn, that's mean.
Now, okay. Now, when I was in New York State, I was in the red trash triangle, and I could tell you there's a lot of questionable people. Like, you look like you're just a little inbred. Because I can't tell you, you go into a store and this dude with like absolutely no chin, just looks like a big, like he's made of dough, and has that look on his face, and over his head you can imagine the light bulb. It's basically fighting to stay lit.
Oh, dude. I have to take a second.
All right, what's up?
I just looked in the email and I got a shock. It's a good shock. Fellow war hoarder. He's been a contributor to us in our email boxes. He writes us numerous emails every single week. He's been a supporter for years, shares the content out. Just sent us the second largest donation we've ever had on this show. $1,200.
Oh, thank you. Is that a mistake?
No. He followed it up with an email and says, I was saving to help pay off a felony court fee that my judge struck down.
Oh, okay.
Plane, Chicago, somewhere, Stella, liver, fix. Fellow war hoarder, out.
Nice.
Somehow this graphic doesn't quite cover it.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Wow, dude. Talk
Thank
about
you so
feeling
much.
unworthy, dude. Well, thank you so much. Wow.
Whew.
I'm in shock over that one.
But I think we're the only comedy team trying to stop suicide.
I certainly.
I don't think there's another one out there.
We need more. We need
Yeah.
more guys like that. I mean, I hope that we're not the only ones. I really do.
I haven't been able to find them.
Yeah, it's just nuts, man. Wow. With that being said, this next story here is a bit on the longer side, but trust me when I tell you, holy hot damn, is it worth it? And then we're going to have some super chats, and I'm sure we're going to have some other revenge stories. But this one right here, just because it goes back so far into childhood, I think a lot of people can identify with this. And it was actually selected on Reddit as the best nuclear revenge story of 2022, for good reason. It's called, and I used this title earlier when I was warming you guys up, Karma Generates Interest Over Time. In the third grade, I was an awkward kid, had a mean drunk father, struggled to fit in and make friends, bullied and shunned by others. One of my classmates, let's call him Derek, who regularly partook in bullying me, showed me kindness just one day. Being deprived of kindness or attention so regularly, I was putty in his hands. He hanged out with me during recess when I was usually alone. We laughed and talked about girls we like. He even apologized for being an a-hole to me. The reason he was nice was because I had brought a very popular, expensive Batman action figure to school with me. Mm-hmm. So this is probably around 89, if I had to guess. Because that was when the first Tim Burton movie came out, and those action figures
he had to
were
have been somewhere between 10 and 13 years of age.
Yeah, maybe. It could have been younger even. He brought it to school to pass the time, since I was alone mostly. I saved allowance and mowed lawns for 2 months to buy that toy. Everyone wanted one. Mm-hmm. By the end of the day, he asked me if I could lend him the action figure. And like the naive, socially inept kid I was, I trusted him with it. The deal was to return it the following morning. I went home so happy, completely fooled, and never suspected a thing. Excuse me.
We all know how this is going to go.
The following day, he completely ignored me. And when I tried to talk to him, he acted like I was crazy. When I asked him to return the action figure, he simply said, "You never gave me any Batman. Maybe you imagined it."
Oh, yeah.
And when I persisted, he threatened to beat my ass. When I complained to my teacher, I was told that it was my own fault for bringing toys to school. I was afraid that they would involve my father, so I dropped it. I couldn't let my father know, or I'd be called a pussy and have my ass beaten punished for the next 2 weeks. Probably. What's worse is Derek told all the girls that I confided to him about fancying that I lusted after them and that I wanked to them. Well, now we know this guy's British.
Yep.
I was a social outcast before that, but at least I was tolerated. After his smear campaign with the girls, I was a leper. People wouldn't even look me in the eyes, not even the teachers.
Wow.
Kids started throwing stones at me, sabotaged and vandalized my property. It was a living hell. I did nothing about it but cry. I was just a weak-willed kid after all, but to this day I wish that I had bit someone's ear off or something, anything, in retaliation.
Yeah, see, I always fought back.
Always. You absolutely need
Yeah.
to.
Or if I couldn't do it myself, I'd pack up with like 5-6 dudes.
And you have to do it publicly.
Yeah.
You have to do it with an audience because that way everybody knows that you're not just going to roll over for it.
Yeah, one of my best friends in middle school was like literally getting his ass trounced by, I think it was like 7 or 8 black dudes.
Oh, man.
I didn't even know this kid. And he was getting beat bad.
Well,
And
yeah,
I'm like,
8-1? Shit.
I'm like, okay. So I go out there. I tried to help him. We both got beat down, but, it is what it is.
Oof.
But after, he never forgot that.
Well, you know what? If you go in there, I mean, what do I always say? Like, character is doing something right even when no one is looking, right?
Yep.
If you enter a fight knowing you're going to get your ass beat, but you do it because it's the right thing to do,
Well, they were going to kill him.
that's character, even though you're a character.
Yeah, I took a pretty good shellacking, but
I bet you did.
years later, I can still call that guy and be like, "Hey, you got to help me move a body." Okay.
I ask no questions, and you don't tell me no lies.
Not many people will do that,
Yeah. Oh, let's see here. He continues. After a while, the bullying died down. I focused on my studies, started getting good grades. Derek started talking to me again, but I ignored him completely. Good. Sometimes he would repeat, "Why are you being such a baby? You didn't give me anything. You imagined it."
Oh no,
That's some... Ooh.
there would be none of that.
Sure didn't load it
Fuck
to a
that
chick.
I'd be waiting on that dude walking home with a big knotted stick.
Oh, man. By the end of the year, we moved houses and I transferred to another school not far away. Things were much better there. I finally had friends and I was not as naive anymore, so I was not as easily targeted.
That's why we need bullies.
But I was still mostly me, and I still got picked on now and then.
Everyone does.
Yeah, I did too.
So did I.
Over the years, I became somewhat of a delinquent, and in high school, I got into regular fights. I may have been overcompensating for the lack of a spine I had in my younger years.
Could be.
That happens too. I bartended in nightclubs, hotels, cruise liners in my early 20s. This helped me to be a lot more socially adept and to understand social dynamics and human nature. I finished trade school, qualified as an electrician, and later as a plumber.
Nice.
You can write your own ticket if you can do both.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know, water and electricity, but believe it or not, I thought it was ingenious at the time. As long as you don't try to do both jobs at the same time, you should be okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't fuck with electricity underwater.
I started my own business, developed a reputation for excellent workmanship in my local area, and I did well for myself. When I was 29, I'm 36 now, so he's actually younger than me. I received a call out at 2 a.m. for a flooding emergency at a local residence. When I got there, the place was a mess. Water was jetting out of a burst pipe and electrical equipment was shorted. It was highly dangerous.
Yep.
The living room floor was caved in due to a sinkhole. I was met by the wife, let's call her Jane, hysterical and beside herself. Well, yeah, if a giant fucking sinkhole opened up in the middle of my house.
Why are you still in the house?
I'd be a little hysterical.
You need to get the fuck out of the house.
No shit.
Oh.
She thought somehow that she was responsible, which I found odd, and I assured her it couldn't possibly be her fault. He arrived not 5 minutes later. His demeanor was irate. He didn't greet or shake my hand when I offered, and I recognized him immediately. Derek, from all those years ago. He demanded to know why I have not begun fixing the issue yet. I was professional and told him what I had told the wife in terms of costs, but I hid the written quote in my vehicle.
Nice.
I told him who I was and acted happy to see him, assured him that he was in good hands. After a while of arguing with his wife, he seemed to calm down and joked around with me. I knew I had fooled him.
Nice.
We talked about our careers, kids, school days. I gave him tips and fake recommendations. We got along great. His trust was easy to gain. He must have thought of me as a complete sucker. I assured him he was in good hands and this would be fixed in no time. I was careful not to start any actual work on the property because doing the smallest thing would make me responsible
For the whole
all
thing.
of it.
Yep.
Derek left an hour or so later and his wife stayed behind. I started my revenge.
Oh, no.
You can already kind of see where this is going, but it's better than you could possibly imagine. When I was doing my assessment, I noticed that most of the building did not comply with regs and did not adhere to the registered and approved plans. There were multiple safety hazards, and all plumbing and electrical work were completed by unqualified, uncertified people in an attempt to save money. Also, the pipe in question had been leaking for a few weeks at least, getting worse by the day and finally causing disaster, which means their water bill would be astronomical at the end of the month unless a qualified plumber endorsed a rebate with the municipality.
That's got to be an English thing. Or maybe Australia.
Yeah, maybe. I called my contact at the city, we'll call him Donovan, and notified him of all the regulatory violations, safety hazards, and non-city compliant installations on the property. I also told him about the possible water bill. He promised to be there the next day. I immediately started photographing and documenting. The following morning, my contact was there at 10. He had a field day. He informed Derek's wife of the calamity that was to come, that they would be forced to tear down all the building additions, remove all the uncertified plumbing and wiring installations,
Nice.
and have the plans reapproved starting from scratch, which was an estimated loss of approximately $950,000.
Whoa! $1 million revenge story. All right.
Derek was there in minutes, and he was livid. He quickly threatened legal action, but Donovan simply told him that he had more than enough photographic evidence to have the property declared invalid within a week if Derek did not comply in writing. Donovan reminded Derek that he does this for a living and that the city has more legal resources to waste money on. Yeah, suing the state is never an easy thing.
Nah.
I left Derek an invoice for my time just to smear salt in the wounds and took
love
my
it.
leave. Later, he called me and called me every name under the sun. I remained silent, and he hung up. He went on a Facebook rant about me, which was a bad idea. All the community stood up for me, and it started storytelling competitions where all kinds of people revealed stories of unsavory things Derek did to them in the past.
Nice.
Apparently, he's always been an asshole, and he
Yeah.
never changed.
Yeah.
One day, he called me up and asked to meet. He sounded defeated and depressed, so I decided to meet and see what was up. I met him at a local busy convenience store. I know better than to take Derek the weasel face at face value, so I noted quickly when he laid his phone screen down on the table. I knew he may be recording the conversation. He apologized for his behavior, which surprised me, and told me that this whole dilemma has all but bankrupted him. He told me he took out a loan for the building additions and cut corners to save money, and that everyone does it.
Yep.
He showed me the water bill, which was almost $80,000.
Oh, my God.
A problem easily erased with a qualified plumber's signature and endorsement,
Not
which I
gonna happen.
refused.
Nice.
He got irate again. Then he asked me,
Why did you do this to me? I mean, I know I was a dick to you when we were kids, but I don't deserve to have my wife and my lives ruined because of mistakes I made when I was a kid. What kind of person are you? You told me I was in good hands. I trusted you. You assured me you would help me, and then you stabbed me in the back. You quoted me only a few hundred and told me not to worry.
I replied, I said no such thing.
Well, stop lying. You told me that it would cost a few hundred, maybe less. I heard you say it. You promised to help me, gave me recommendations. Why are you doing this to me?
Derek, you must have imagined it. I looked him in the eye, and he knew exactly why I said it.
Wow.
The same thing he told me almost 20 years ago.
Oh,
I repeated it just to drive it home. You're being a baby. I never quoted you for anything. You must have imagined it. Whoa.
So he had to be about 9 years old when that happened.
Yeah. He knew that I was destroying him financially because of a Batman action figure he stole from me 20 years ago.
Interest, baby.
I could see it in his eyes, but he couldn't bring himself to say it. His expression was a mixture of astonishment and disgust. I looked him dead in the eyes for a few seconds for effect, got up, and left.
Nice.
I slept like a baby that night and had a goofy smile all week after. He tried calling me a few times, but I sent him a text stating that further harassment will be met with legal action.
Nice.
Derek, you know what your real name is and what mine is. If in the future you read this and realize how I screwed you over, remember how costly that little Batman action figure was to you after years of accumulated interest and karma. The look of despair on your face when you realize why you are ruined was delicious. I cackled maniacally on the drive home from that convenience store because it was time for you to pay the piper. And if you think that this will help you legally, go ahead and try. It won't.
Nope.
So don't waste your time. Or if you do, waste as much time and money as you want. I welcome being even more of a financial inconvenience to your life. Fuck you.
Nice. Oh. All right. Hey, I've told the story in the past myself, but when I moved from Oak Park to Berkeley, there was this guy there. I'm not going to use his whole name. He went by the name of John. Okay. Burnout. He was just a raging asshole. And it was me and two of my other buddies. And John walks up and goes to one of my buddies. He goes, "Give me your bike." And I'm like, "Don't give me your bike. Fuck that guy.
Give me your bike."
So he literally slaps my buddy in the face.
What?
Takes his bike, rides it. And we thought maybe he would just dump it somewhere. He rolled it into traffic, so it got totaled. And he did similar things. He tried to do similar things to me, and they picked on me savagely. Years later, I'm in my early 30s, and my sister, one of her kids, is getting just picked on mercilessly by a kid who had the same last name as John. And they were going to go to meet the principal and talk the whole thing out. I heard her telling it to my mother, so I got in my car and I waited in the parking lot behind the middle school. And I watched them leave, and I see John and his 11, 12-year-old kid, because they're in 8th grade, comes out the building, and I get out and I walk right up to him and I'm like, "Hey, John, your kid is picking on my nephew pretty savagely." And it was a bad beating. I mean, we're talking eyes swelled shut. I mean, this wasn't slap around kind of stuff. Okay. And he looks me in the eye and he goes, "Well, boys will be boys." He didn't even finish the sentence. I literally knocked him out cold. He just went, "Tsh!" And his son is standing with this look of horror in his face. And I go, "In 6 short years, that's going to be you." I thought I was going to prison. I got my car. I left. I was expecting to get a call from the cops like, "Hey, can you come down? We got a warrant for your arrest." Because I would go turn myself in because I'm not like a fugitive. But it never happened. I guess he decided to take his ass beating, and and his kid never ever said anything to any member of my family ever again.
Nice. Gotta love revenge. It's just so much fun.
And you know what? And I didn't even plan to hit him. I wasn't even mad. It was just all of a sudden, bad Pop's all right. Evil Pop's get out of the seat.
Evil pops out of the box.
all right, you can take over now. And then in the back, Evil Pop's "Now, wasn't that satisfying?" And I'm like, yes, it was.
All right. We have some clarification from fellow War Hoarder on that giant donation.
Okay.
It's actually not for us.
Okay.
This is actually, it makes it even better as far as I'm concerned. If you remember David Kirby from Ohio, the gentleman who is basically rotting from the inside out, and the VA is just basically encouraging him to die. It's for him.
All right. Well, does he have his GoFundMe? We'll send it over.
The GoFundMe he didn't do a GoFundMe. He did a Give, Send, Go.
Oh, Give, Send, Go?
And they dragged their feet for months before they finally sent him just the $300 he wanted for a marijuana medical card. So, David, I'll talk to you after the show. We'll make sure that you get the money.
We'll get you hooked up, brother.
We will take care of it. All right. I'm going to read some more chats here. We got one more little revenge story. I might save it for a new tack. And we got Chris. "Hey, Popp, are you up for some acting roles?"
Sure. I mean, I'm not doing gay shit. And I'm not wearing a dress or a wig. All right.
Dylan Mulvaney story starring Terrence Popp.
No.
Dung is fun. Wood chipper feet first, my opinion. If they have bad cardio, they all float in water. Correct on both counts. Clever fish. Go read the lyrics to Mother by Meghan Trainor and try telling me that gynocentrism hasn't gone too far. Respect to you both. I avoid her music like the plague, so I'll have to read those sometime. Michael Morgan with a $20 donation. Beer fund.
All right.
Snarf.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, good sir. Hot Dog 401. Bullying. 'Tis the hammer that forges the blade through heat and destruction. Become the blade.
That's exactly what it does.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. Like, if you need to grow,
Make
if
you
you want to grow, if you want to change, you want to do anything, it's going to involve pain.
Yeah.
And if you're terrified of pain, well, get used to living in the sea of mediocrity.
Exactly. Because life is pain. Love is pain. Life is pain. You can't protect yourself from it. You can't hide from it. So you got to learn to take the hits.
That's right.
Rocky said it best. It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward, because that is how winning is done. Anything else? All the complaining, the whining, I'm not where I'm supposed to be because of him or her or some nameless billionaires. No.
Look in the mirror. You are the own anchor to your own progress.
Cowards do that.
Yep.
And even bigger cowards enact policy based on that. Hot Dog 401. Top up for an even 10. Commie sense. Thanks, bro. Sean St. George. Raise a glass to a legendary revenger. Yeah, that story was...
That was pretty good.
That was chef's kiss good.
That was really good.
Hot Dog 401 says, solid pop, there's solid snake, then there's solid pop. Carry on, good sir. I always thought that was a funny name for a video game character. I mean, the porn basically writes itself. I'm Solid Snake. What's your name in the porno? Erect cock. That's fine.
Whatever.
What you gotta do.
Okay.
All right, it is 9/11. What do you think? One more revenge story, and then we'll go to new tech?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. This one is called, and you can appreciate this story, Pop, Don't Kill Your Neighbor's Dogs.
All right, now let's correct this here. Now, before we get into the story. All right, if you live on a block and there's a vicious dog that, lives on the same block as you that gets out from time to time and you have small kids, things might need to happen. Just saying.
Just saying. All right, here we go. My crazy, antisocial, elderly aunt lives in the mountains of West Virginia. That's Deliverance territory. I'm sure she used to have a purty mouth. My aunt is a mean, bitter old woman who was suspected of shooting and killing her ex-husband, but the cops could never pin it on her.
Well, if there's no witnesses
Winning?
and she doesn't ever talks about it.
Years ago, she bought a small home on some land that borders the land of another family in a small, narrow, isolated, forested mountain valley. Living the dream. The other family had been living there for a long time, and they just wanted to be left alone, like most people who choose to live in a remote mountain location in West Virginia. My aunt bought chickens and started to let them run around, unfenced on her property. And the neighbor's dogs were very interested in those chickens.
Yep.
Get a thigh in one mouth and a breast in the other. Chickens would roam around and go over onto the neighbor's property. One day, without warning, she killed her neighbor's dogs for killing one of her chickens, and only one of the dogs was killed on her property. The other was shot dead in the neighbor's front yard.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yes, it is.
Look, if your chickens go onto his property and they get fucking massacred, that is on you.
Exactly. But if you're going onto their property to shoot their dogs, that's fucking evil.
We're going to have a problem.
The neighbors had small kids, and they loved those dogs. My aunt walked over with a shotgun and told the neighbors that they had better never let another chicken-killing dog going on my property again, or else she would kill him too. Well, the neighbors didn't take too kindly to her killing their dogs and her actions with the shotgun, waving it around and threatening them.
If she was on my property, I'd have shot her.
A little over the top.
Yeah.
But they didn't call the cops, knowing that my crazy aunt, who had a reputation for being violent, was unlikely to be arrested. And if she was arrested, she would quickly be released from jail and be back. So a couple of weeks later, when my aunt went into town, her home's back window was mysteriously broken. And a bottle of burning oil and gas was thrown into her home. I can't imagine who might have done such a thing.
Shame.
By the time the fire department finally arrived, the home was a complete loss, and every dog and possibly ex-husband killing shotgun and firearm my aunt owned, along with her other worldly possessions, were incinerated. The home was a total loss, along with the chicken coop, etc. I bet it smelled delicious.
Virginia fried chicken.
Woo! The neighbors didn't see nothing. Never. And the sheriff's department couldn't prove anything. My aunt had a long list of enemies. That's what happens when you're an entitled bitch.
Yep.
She didn't work, and she was too poor and lazy to have homeowners insurance.
Bye.
Ouch. So she had to move, and her son eventually bought her a cheap, rundown trailer in town.
Okay.
Those of us who knew my aunt figured she got what she deserved. Moral of the story, never screw with a mountain man's dog.
Yeah. I mean, come on. But like I said, like if the dog was coming off the property and attacking people.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. A dog is a member of your family. I got it. But the minute you take that dog and you willingly sick him on somebody else, or if he does it of his own accord, the dog became a weapon.
Yep.
Because let's be honest, you guys might think you're all big and bad. If I lock you in a phone booth and I throw a motivated cat in there, it could kill you.
Yeah.
And a 100-pound dog will kill you.
Yes.
I mean, I put on the bite sleeve, right? And we're in Iraq, and I'm like, I want to see how powerful these dogs are. And he lets the dog go. I put my arm up there, and it bit, and there was not 1 ounce of compassion or love in that dog's eyes. He was like, "You are food, bitch."
That's
and
right.
like, threw me on the. There's nothing I could have done.
Yeah. Oh, God, that reminds me of John Wick 3 when the dogs jump up and start biting the dudes in the dick.
Oh, my God,
dragging
I
them
screamed
across.
like a bitch.
God!
I hated that. I was like, his balls.
And those were real attack dogs,
Yeah.
too, man. They did not mess around. Those were not lovable things like Offset or something. Like, they were told flat out, you do not approach the dogs. You don't even look the dogs in the eye.
Correct.
Oof.
Yep.
Damn, that's a good movie. I still have to see the 4th one.
And look, I've seen way more good dogs than bad dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Like I worked for a guy. He had this black lab called Capone, 135, 140-pound dog, massive neck. It was just a big, powerful dog, and he walked around the property and he'd like bark at you like, "Bah, bah," and he'd walk up and bump you with his head and smell you.
Yeah.
Because he was about 8 or 9, right? So he's on the tail end of his lifespan. Well, he's got an electric fence, so he has free reign in the front and backyard.
Okay.
Well, there's an 8-year-old little girl, 2 houses down, gets attacked by, I don't know, some type of big mutt kind of dog. It was about a 60, 70-pound dog, and she's screaming. And I remember I'm in the house, and I see that the dog, because I really didn't hear the girl, but the dog did. The dog was like, huh? Runs right out the front door, runs through the electric fence, doesn't give a shit,
Wow.
kills that dog almost instantaneously.
Holy shit!
Bit it, crushed its head, and then slammed it around, and then walks back to the property like nothing happened.
That's a good dog, right?
Well, the owner of the dog that got killed came out, called the cops. The cops
of
come,
course, yeah.
and everyone's freaking out. And I literally tell the officer, I'm like, that dog was attacking that little girl, and our dog just went over and killed that dog, and then came right back. He goes, sounds like a legit dog to me.
It's like when you told the Army people that it was your therapy. I can sell that.
But it was amazing. I just could. And when I saw that dog just wipe that other one out that quickly, I was like, that could easily be me.
It could be anybody, yeah.
There'd be nothing I could do. If I didn't have a pistol or a knife in my hand ready to go, I'm dead. And then I was 24, 23 years old.
Nature's a cruel mystery.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah, and leftoids think that they can compete with nature by, changing it and challenging it with feelings.
Good luck with that.
Sure. You go right the fuck ahead. We're going to read a couple of chats here, take a quick break, and then jump on over to New Tech.
All right.
We're going to work out some of the logistics with David Kirby after the show. We're going to get him all that money, good sir, because I know you need it. You've been hamstrung and raked through the coals and spit roasted by the VA long enough. You need some help, and this is why we're here.
Well, I think I'll charge him $1.
Look, $1.
I think it's fair.
It's fair, to be fair. Demaster12 with 2 chats here. He says, my first, last, and final ex-girlfriend once said, pain is an indication you're doing something wrong. My ex was the most cowardly person I've ever known.
And I'm sure
pain's an indication you're doing something wrong if you're, like, doing sit-ups.
Well, and I'm sure she excelled at life.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yeah, that attitude's going to take you all the way. Yeah, right.
That's good times. And he says, I'd feel bad for Crowder's divorce if he hadn't shamed men for avoiding the meat grinder he's in for. Do you think this will red pill him on state marriage, or will he double down on his apex blue-pilled gynocentrism?
I will answer your question right now. I did this whole video. I filmed it a few days ago.
It's coming out tomorrow.
Strictly for Crowder, and that will answer your questions.
Yes. I think Demaster12 is a supporter of the show. If you're logged in, subscribe star, locals, give send bro, check it out. That video is already available to you. Mm-hmm. It'll be coming out for everybody else tomorrow. Earlier if you're on New Tech. If you're on YouTube, you got to wait till 6:30 Eastern Time.
And in that video, I don't attack him because I'm a man of honor. And I don't kick people when they're down, unless I'm in an active war with them or they've been merciless to me in the past.
He's on the cusp of a huge voyage of self-discovery. He just doesn't know it yet.
Yes, and listen, if he needs my help, I mean, I'll help him out, man. Yeah. I've navigated this golf course of stupidity more times than I care to remember.
All holes filled at once.
Yeah.
Cliff3188 here. He says, my brother got revenge for me against my high school bully who nearly broke my collarbone. My bro loosened the rear lug nuts of my bully's new 04 Corvette.
Ooh.
When he pulled out of the high school lot, the wheels fell off. Mechanic shows up. Well, there's your problem.
When I was in high school, that happened 2 times. People leaving the parking lot and tires coming off.
That's very American.
Hey, look, you fuck around people, you will find out.
Exactly. Fafo. Should get a dog. We should get you a dog and name it Fafo. F-A-F-O. Fuck around, find out. You need something to care for besides your junk. Hot Dog 401 from Canada. Just for keeping us going, brother. Bless you. You give us so much. I wish I could give more to you. You know, we appreciate everything, man. Every little bit.
I'm here to save lives, baby.
Yeah, that's why we read every super chat, big and small.
For now.
Yeah, some of the chats that we get on Odyssey are like a fraction of a library coin. I don't even know what a library coin is worth.
Yeah. Now, if we get to a point where I have like 10,000 people, we probably won't be able to do all that.
Yeah, we may not be able to do that. So then some of the dollar chats may have to get shuffled to the dustbin, but they will be thanked. Everybody always gets thanked because we love you guys, no homo. And yeah, it's 9:22, so we're going to adjourn to New Tech. Would you like a roll call before we do, good sir? Let's see if Rumble's already outdoing YouTube again.
Let me pull out my pen.
681 on YouTube. Jimmy Bones, if you can paste those links in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Rumble's knocking 899. And wait. Is it going to cross? Oh, 900. Just hit 900 on Rumble. Screw YouTube. Odyssey's rocking 76. MGTOW's got 79. D-Live has 33. And Twitch is rocking 34.
Wow. Twitch, we've never had. What's the most we've ever had on Twitch? We almost get onesie twosies.
Well, no, on Twitch we usually get about 30 in the main part of the show, and then New Tech is usually around 50 to 60.
All right,
and one last chat from Harrison Blackwood, $10. Thank you very much. No comment, or if there was a comment, it looks like it got deleted by YouTube. Things happen. But yeah, with that being said, go empty your squirrel bladders because we got some juicy revenge stories and some juicy butts for you.
Nice.
Coming up on New Tech. If you haven't been to New Tech yet, you're missing out. Those links are already in the chat on YouTube. We'll see you in 5 minutes.
You're fucking up by the numbers.
All the numbers, especially 69 and 71. So 69 with 2 fingers right up your ass.